Earth is a sphere. It most certainly isn't flat. There are three kinds of flat earthers. Those that are gullible, poorly educated and willing to take for granted every nonsensical story that is made up by the second kind of flat earthers. Those that are con men with only one goal: to wrestle as much money out of the pockets of the first type of flat earthers. And there is the third kind. Those are the ones really believing that the earth is flat. The ones with a slightly better education, although still rather being stupid. The ones that understand very little about science, but just enough to be able to construct a world based on misinterpreting, misunderstanding, misusing and quote mining what they have picked up on some YouTube videos. Initially, I thought that Anthony Riley, or Sleeping Warrior, belonged to the third category. Here is a small compilation of the pseudo-scientific stupidities he has blasted out for years now.
I'm not sure that is actually Earthshine we're looking at. That could be the effects of Rayleigh scatter. There could be other explanations for it. I'm not even sure that Earthshine is even possible, mate. That's what I said. Because Australia, as a lot of people rightly point out on the AE map, appears to be further round. It's not in the right geometric position because it's all out by itself, and we can't judge where it is because the oceans around it, there's no GPS in there.
You know, is where you join negative ions with positive ions. You create power. That's what the pyramids did. It's demonstrably true.
Temperature. Right, so first off, you have to knock off the gravity because we know gravity is an effect. And we know that the temperature varies, but it's really cold in space, but there's a massive differential between the vacuum of space temperature and our temperature. So we can basically turn that up, and basically it's not misrepresenting what happens because we know what happens.
Not the mass, because it doesn't say masses. It says that indicate that mass is singular. Masses would be plural. This is devastating if you believe that atmospheric pressure is the explanation on their model, because even if you've got gravity, and you haven't really got gravity, have you? It's not bendy space-time, but even if you've got gravity, that ticks that bit there, but you need the mass bit, and you haven't got the mass, because it doesn't say masses, it says mass. So if you haven't got mass, and you haven't really got gravity either, then you've definitely not got atmospheric pressure, because you need atmospheric pressure satisfying the definition. Satisfying atmospheric pressure is weight over unit area. Well, you haven't got weight, so therefore you haven't got atmospheric pressure.
Anthony, if a triangle has the sides 1 and 1, do you know what the angles of the triangle are?
Which kind of triangle are you on about? Are you on about like a right angle triangle?
The triangle has sides 1, 1, and 1. Do you know what the angles are?
The angles would be... Well, it would be an equilateral triangle, wouldn't it?
Right, so what are the angles?
I'm gonna pull up a triangle calculator. Well, the one I'm using it's not giving me any when I do it. So either this calculator is wrong or you're wrong. Depending on whether it's a positive number that's greater than 1, that's going to give you a direction. If it's a negative number less than 1, that's going to give you the opposite direction. It's the opposing position. That gives you your direction, and your magnitude comes from the size of the number. This is my egg. This is my parts per million counter. This is going to measure the parts per million of both these fluids. This is tap water, regular tap water. That is the same tap water, but it's been preloaded to save some time with some salt from this to give it a density variation. It's going to measure the density of the tap water. So while it settles down, it takes a little bit of time. Okay, that's coming in at 212 parts per million tap water. Don't know what that means. It's just a number. It could be unicorn farts. It's just a number.
A solar eclipse will happen every single month. And why? Because it takes 27 days, 27 point something days for the moon to orbit the Earth. So at some point, it's going to cross the sun. And it does it every single month. I bet you £1,000 solar eclipses happen every single month. The issue is we never see them because they're normally over the Earth, normally over the water.
Paul Michel Foucault, the guy we all know for the pendulum effect. Apparently it shows the rotation of the Earth. What do we know about Foucault? Not that much really. French, pendulums, that's about it. That's all we know about him. This is the guy. He died in 1984, aged 57. Does anybody know what he died of? I didn't know what he died of. Presumably old age.
But now he has shown to belong to the second type of flat earthers, the con man. It must be said, he doesn't monetize his channel. He sometimes crowdfunds some stupid ideas of his, like writing a dissertation to get a master's degree. A degree he doesn't have and probably never will get. But in general, he is not out to steal money from his followers. But he definitely starts showing signs of being a con man. He is lying through his teeth and he doesn't even hide it. He admits to it in plain sight. Let's look at this fragment of a video he published not so long ago.
So all I've got to show is that this leading edge here that we see, the high contrast thing, if I can show that that is matched in the imagery with a flat plane, like i.e. it hasn't gone behind, if this matches what it looks like on Google Earth, then it means that there is nothing that's gone behind the drop. Yes, it might be compressed, but I can match this. This categorically, 100%ly, and without any shadow of any doubt whatsoever, it demonstrates that there is compression in the image, and that which is being compressed is being misinterpreted by ball earthers as drop, and it isn't, and I'm now going to prove it. This is what you see if you get your Google Earth, you plot your XY coordinates where Sandra put them in the video, and then you line it up to Snaefell with the mast, and then zoom right in, pitch it up a little bit, and you can see clearly that the imagery on the left hand side is the same imagery as the right hand side, and this shows that there is compression in the image, just like Ranty showed with his boats, and the stuff is not falling behind the curve of the Earth as depicted by Ruhif with his red line. It is being simply compressed. Why is it doing that? I don't know. All I know is that it does it. It's repeatable with boats. Ranty showed it many times, and the ball earthers are misrepresenting the compression caused by whatever to be the effect they call curvature, and the reality is it is demonstrably untrue.
He used this last picture to prove that there is no curvature making the bottom of the hills not visible. But there is compression at play here. At first glance it looks like he might have a point here, but there keeps lingering a fishy smell about it. Someone by the name Trintignant has picked up the same smell. He posted this. So you compare a picture from Google taken at a high altitude where you see down on the land, and you conveniently cropped it so you cannot see the height at which the picture was taken, with a picture taken at low altitude where you can see far less of the land, and claim you have proven compression. You really don't understand how perspective works, do you? And Sleeping Warrior reacts with, I also used elevation profile set to 3. What do you have to say about that? He doesn't react anymore to any remarks made by Trintignant or Do as could be expected. What does it mean to set the elevation profile setting to 3? Here it is. To adjust the appearance of hills enter an elevation exaggeration value of 0.01 to 3.0. This results in a picture where the heights of the terrain are multiplied by 3 relative to the horizontal measurements of the terrain. I did the same in Google Earth Pro and got this result. The same picture as Sleeping Warriors, and I had to set the viewer height at around 1000 meters, whereas the viewer height of the original picture was only just 200 meters. So in order to prove that it is compression and not curvature, he shows a picture that he has first stretched vertically, and he readily concedes to it. And he even didn't remove the post from Trintignant as he usually does when someone has him cornered. We knew Sleeping Warrior was stupid. We knew that he was one of the top village idiots, and we knew that he was bluffing his way through every conversation he got into. Now we know that he is a con man too. He has openly admitted it. Thanks for watching.